Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Angel, and today I wanted to talk about my top favorite plants that bring me the most joy. So for those who watched the plants that I can't stand, then you'll remember that one of them was this string of bananas. This one got moved into the plants that give me a lot of joy now, which I'm so happy because I really do love this string of bananas. For a long time, it was just causing a lot of problems for me, and so that's why it was in that video. I ended up putting it back in a nursery pot. Ever since then, I feel like it's gotten so much better. I mean, it is so long, it's so long. What I ended up doing is taking it completely out of its soil, washing everything off, putting it in water for like a day, and then I went back and I just started going through all of the roots, and anything that I felt like was dead, I just removed. And then this is what was left of it. I put it in some soil that was well draining, and I still have it in the same window that I've always had it. I really just leave it alone. I check the little bananas to see if they're squishy, and that will tell me if it needs water. And clearly it has started to love me too. It's so long. Next plant I will talk about is this one here. So this is an elephant's bush, or a Portulacaria afra, but to me his name is Horton II, because I had an elephant's bush before that was actually variegated and it died. I killed it. I overwatered it. Ever since I've gotten this Portulacaria, that is a mouthful. Okay, ever since I got this guy, Horton, I have taken a lot of care of him, making sure that his conditions are just right. He has really blossomed for me. There was only one time where I had to move him and he was shook and lost a lot of his leaves. I tried not to panic and I just kept him in his new place. He acclimated to it and hasn't dropped leaves since. These guys are succulents, so they don't need a lot of watering, and their leaves will tell you a lot. If it starts to look really wrinkled, then you know that it's thirsty. But honestly, I just tend to look at the soil. The soil I let completely dry out completely, and it seems to really like that. I'm glad that I found this one and took a chance on it, because I definitely didn't think I could keep it alive, but I've done quite well for myself, I have to say. It reassured me that with knowledge and patience, you can keep a plant alive even if you've killed it in the past. The next one that I'm going to talk about is this arrowhead vine, which I've talked a lot about on my Instagram, and then I mentioned this one in one of my vlogs. But she has grown so much for me, and I honestly just love her foliage. I love the arrowhead shaped foliage and the different color greens. I don't freak out when she gets like a yellow leaf like this, especially because it's towards the bottom, so I know that it just is a natural process, and she has new foliage still growing. If you can see, like this new one here. I have always had her in a ceramic pot, and she's done pretty well in ceramic. I do let the soil completely dry out. I find that with a lot of plants, even if they like humidity, they still want their soil to kind of dry out, and anytime that I've tried to leave soil a little bit damp, it just is worse off for my plants. I really have not had a problem with this one. She is pretty low maintenance for me. I mean, I keep her in a pretty bright area. I try to keep rotating her because, as you can see, her foliage is kind of going backwards. Like, this is where it's leaning towards, so I try to keep turning her so she can be even. Definitely one of my favorite plants. I mean, all of these are going to be my favorite plants, so I better not get repetitive, but I do have to say that I really love this girl so much. Okay, and since she's right here, I will just show you my angel wing. Of course, this is going to be one of my favorite plants, but I didn't want to say it right off the bat because my begonias do not seem to like me, but I feel like it's the Rex begonias, I'm starting to realize, because now I have two begonias that are like this one. I have this polka dot one, and I have a Lucerna, I believe is how you say it. They seem to really like me, so I wanted to give her a chance to kind of acclimate to me and her environment and see how she does. I can say that she really likes me. So she has bloomed a new leaf, which is this one, and she has 3 more growth spots. I am sad to say that she lost 2 of her new leaves, and I'm not sure why. They hadn't completely bloomed out yet. They just dropped off. So I know that I need to water her because she is a pretty small pot. This pot isn't even as large, so she's in this smaller pot. So I think I just went a little bit too long without watering her, and that's definitely my fault. I just went a little bit too cautious on not wanting to overwater her. I took this bamboo stick from a different plant and I put her with it because her stem here was just getting a little bit too heavy for her, so I wanted to help her out. So I just have a little bit of Velcro there holding that one up. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for her long term. I'm hoping that she just gets a little bit stronger because she is in a more baby stage right now. I just absolutely love her. She's so gorgeous. Can't wait for her to grow more and bloom, hopefully. Hopefully next spring she'll bloom for me. Now for this baby. So this is a Croton Petra. She is quite large and out there. Since I got her, she has bloomed so much. She has kept her variegation, which I'm very happy about. I'm not sure what in the world happened to this leaf. She's always been on a tall shelf because these guys are known to be toxic to pets. She's one of my favorites because not only is she so striking in her variegation, like this coloring is so gorgeous. When I first started my plant journey and I got all these plants that I really didn't know anything about, I literally looked up each one on YouTube and was just watching different people's YouTube videos to find out about each particular plant. I also had my plant app that I was finding information, but I find that information that comes from a plant app, or even if you Google a certain plant, it's going to be very basic information that is not universal. I find that I get the most accurate information about a specific plant by listening and watching people who actually have that specific plant. And even then, I don't take what they say as gospel because they probably don't live in the same environment as I do, or they probably don't have their thermostat to the same degree that I do. And, you know, those kinds of things are all going to be variables that can change how your plant acclimates to your home. I wanted to get different information from a lot of people so that I could see some commonalities in how they all took care of a specific plant, and then I could get a better understanding. So that's what I did when I got this Croton, and a lot of people were saying how finicky they are, how they don't like to be moved, how they need a very specific environment to thrive. So it made me very nervous. It made me want to do even better for this plant because it was on the finicky side, but it couldn't have been farther from the truth for me and my experience with it. It is such an easy plant for me, and I have definitely moved it around my house, different windows, different environments. I've had it in dry climate, I've had it in a more humid area. Not once has it dropped its leaves or reverted back to green. It just, I don't know, it seems to be fine and very easy. I feel very fortunate in that aspect because it is a gorgeous plant, and I was very nervous about being able to take care of it. With that said, I do have it always in a very bright area, and I've always kind of had a grow light on it. I tend to have it in a more humid area now, but like I said, I've had it in drier areas of my house, and it was fine. When it comes to its soil, I do let it dry out, but I don't let it go so long without watering. I definitely try not to neglect this one because it does like water. Try to keep its leaves clean so that it can soak up all the light and keep its variegation. If you can see, it has new growth up at the top there. This plant definitely makes me happy whenever I see it. The last plant I wanted to talk about, I cannot lift up, but that is why I put her in frame for me, and that is my Majesty Palm. This plant is a pain in my butt, but only because this really isn't the climate that she would prefer. It's not really her fault that I have such a hard time with her. I tried to keep her in a humid environment and have a humidifier right next to her, and I mist her leaves as frequently as possible. When she was a little bit smaller, I had her in a more plasticky pot. Whenever I was gonna water her, I would take her, put her in my shower, and I would get my detachable shower head and just kind of like shower her completely and then drench her soil. And I was doing that about once a week in the summertime. This girl loves water. But as she started to get larger, it wasn't as easy, and then I had to repot her. So I ended up having to put her in, I think it's a 12-inch terracotta pot. That is way too heavy to be lifting. So she stays in this room. I don't lift her up. I have her on a little stool, and I have a catch tray underneath that. So I just water her right here, and I just let her drip onto the catch tray. That's pretty much it. Only when my app tells me that she needs like a cleaning, I'll ask Shane to pick her up and put her in the shower for me, and then I'll rinse her off. But that's like once every couple months now. She doesn't really get the whole bathing experience like I think she prefers. She does have a little bit of crispiness on the ends, but honestly, even with all of that said, this girl grows so much for me. She has some fronds even inside right now that are new and growing. And she's just so beautiful. Like, she is so eye-catching. Like, I wish that I had the room for multiple Majesty Palms, honestly. I probably would have a couple of them all throughout my house, and I hope one day we will have a living situation where I can accommodate multiple Majesty Palms because they're just so beautiful. They remind me of California. They just make me feel like I'm in some tropical paradise. And honestly, if you can get her the right humidity and the right sunlight, because she does like a lot of sun, she'll do great for you. Like, she's not that difficult of a plant. She's like the first thing I see every time I enter this room, because she's usually on the opposite wall, and she's just beautiful, and I love her. Yeah, guys, that is all of the plants that I am just so in love with right now that bring so much joy to me, and I hope continue to grow and thrive. Feel free to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I post videos every Wednesday and Friday, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! Or a, what is it called? Oh yeah. So this is an elephant's bush or a portulacaf, nope, thought I could do it.